Empower You Too podcast. I'm your host, Natasha Paris, and I'm excited because you are in the building with me. You can be anywhere in the world, but you have chosen to be here with me, and I am so humbled and appreciative. Let me tell you about this show. Each and every single week, we continue to empower you to greatness that is truly going to help you, whether you are a person that have experienced a heartbreak, have gone through a divorce, or have endured levels of trauma of any kind, or you're just a person trying to rebuild their life and themselves, and now you are finally ready to live a life full of abundance, joy, and peace, then this show is for you. So with that said, thank you again for being here. I am extremely grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you because together we are empowered for greatness. You ready? Let's go. Hello, friends. Hope you are doing fantastic. It is your girl, Natasha Paris, the mental health therapist expert, back at you again for episode 103 within season 2. Let me tell you how excited I am, as always, to come before you to provide you with some golden nuggets that will support your growth, that will support your empowerment, and that could take your life to the next level. And so I truly believe, as a mother, as a girlfriend, as a, entrepreneur, that there's some great things that are coming your way. And I know for sure when it comes to my own life, I've dealt with some things, but I've always come out better and stronger, more resilient. And so today for episode 103, let's jump right into it. The topic is when life hits us hard and disappoints us, how to bounce back and become victorious. I'm going to say that again. When life hits hard, knocks you down, my friends, and life is counting you out. 1, 2, 3, like a boxer, how do you get back up and start fighting until you are victorious? Yes, I know a thing or two of experiencing that. I know that when I had gotten a divorce, it just seemed like things began to crumble all under my feet. Here I was, a single parent raising 2 children, and then life had the audacity to get me to lose my job. I lost my job, and I could not find a job before I became an entrepreneur. Could not find a job for about 4 months. I went through my entire savings, my investments. I had to liquidate some of my investments just to survive. And when that ran out, I was left with being in a place where I was going to be evicted from my rented house at the time. And I felt so ashamed. How many of us have felt when life knocks us down, we are so ashamed, so embarrassed that we don't share with anyone. We don't seek support. And I remember crying nights and nights. And one day my daughter walked up to me. At the time, she was about 2.5, 3 years old. She walked up to me and caught me off guard. She yelled, "Mommy, why do you cry?" And it was at that moment that I had to make a decision. I had to make the decision whether I was going to cry every day, all day, and woe is me, or make the decision to live and get up and do something. And I decided that I was not going to be the victim. I spoke to life and I said, "Life, you don't have me. This didn't happen to me. It happened for me. It happened for me. It created who I am today. And then I've had other tragedies, or I should say setbacks, where I was involved in a relationship for 2.5 years that did not serve me. How many of us can talk about stuff like that? That did not serve me. But I realized after that, when I made the decision that I wasn't going to be a hypocrite, I wasn't going to empower women to become their best versions of themselves in every aspect of their life, when behind closed doors, I was settling for negative behaviors from someone or accepting what wasn't for me. And I knew that royalty was me. And because I am royal as a result of being a child of the Creator, right? I knew that I was royal, so I needed to start acting like royalty, deciding that I was never going to go back to that kind of relationship because I deserved more. And so I said, again, life, you do not have me where I feel like the victim, where I not only feel like the victim, but here I was accepting less than what I deserved. And so let's talk about it. I gave you 2 examples out of many others, 2 examples of when life knocked me down, when I couldn't sleep. I had sleepless nights. I was crying. I was upset. I lost weight. And I was like, wait a minute, life? That's when you got to speak to your life and say, wait a minute, okay? Because guess what, my friends? Life is going to life. We know that. But how do you bounce back from life disappointments and actually become not a victim, but become victorious? First things first, I'm jumping right into this because one thing's for sure, we can all point to a time in our life when we felt like things were going to remain the same, that we were going to stay stuck in that mud or stay in that quicksand. Every time we moved like we fell in deeper. But I come to tell you, I got some good news here. I come to tell you that, yes, bouncing back from disappointment can be tough, my friends. It can be so tough. But utilizing my own life and utilizing the lives that I have encountered over the years as a licensed mental health therapist and as a speaker traveling, I can say to you that there's some strategies, right, that's going to help you regain control and find victory again. Find victory again. The first, so I have 10 points we're going to talk about, 10 strategies. And the first is acknowledge your feelings. It's so important for you to allow yourself to feel, whether it is the death of a loved one, whether it is the loss of a dream deferred, the dream of a happy household with, the white picket fence and the spouse, right? Or having the bomb.com position at your job, making all that money, and then them coming to you and saying, you know what, we're going through a layoff and we're laying you off. You're like, what? Are you kidding me? Oh, we'll give you a severance package. Wait a minute, you just pulled the rug from under me. So the first thing you need to do is acknowledge your feelings, my friends. It's important to recognize when disappointment comes. Say, yes, I am disappointed, but what I need to do is not suppress my feelings, rather acknowledge them. Acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge that you're angry. Acknowledge that you are pissed off or upset because someone left you. Acknowledge the fact that you are sad because you experienced the death of a loved one. It's important to acknowledge your feelings. So that's the first strategy. The second is it's important for you to reflect and learn from this. Take time to reflect on what happened and what could you have learned from this experience. Because remember, if you don't learn what was taught to you through the difficulties, because remember I said it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you in order for you to become the best version of yourself. Because if you don't learn it, it will come right back around. Just a different phase, but it's the same problem. It's the same difficulty. And you're like, wait a minute, why am I in a very narcissistic and toxic relationship here again? Why is that? Why is it that I keep picking individuals who are not good for me? You have to ask yourself that. And it's important for you to reflect and say, okay, what's happening here? And understand that the situations can help prevent similar disappointments in the future. Like, you have to see the lessons that life is teaching you. Life is always going to teach you some things about yourself, my friends. If you have difficulty with patience, believe me, you will be tested. You will be tested highly when you're probably standing on that line and you are feeling that heat rise because you're like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Why are they not hurrying up? And guess what? It's going to take longer for you to get to that front window. I'm just saying. It's teaching you patience, okay? The third is I want you to set new goals for yourself, my friends. Once you've processed your feelings, consider setting new and achievable goals, right? If you find yourself like making, or I should say living check by check, and your income is not improving, let's take a look at what you're spending. Be very mindful. So a new goal would be, I will save more money than I spent last month. Ooh, I will save more money than I spent last month, even if it's $15 for that time period versus spending $15 on lunch. Okay. The fourth is practice self-compassion. I'm going to stay there a little while. Why is self-compassion so important, my friends? Because it's important for you to be kind to yourself and don't beat yourself up for going through that lesson again. You know, I have a friend that, you know, she chose the same guy that she kicked out of her house before. Like, it was a different person, but it's the same energy, same format. And the question is, why is this happening again in your relationship where you feel like you have to kick him out too? Why? Maybe it's because you're not taking your time to get to know the person. Maybe you're desperate to be in a relationship that just as quickly as someone says, I love you, you're like, okay, you can move in. Wait a minute. Come on now. Because what we know for sure is that people will always bring their representatives. And look, even a job, employment, understand that when you come onto a job, they give you 90 days to show your true self. You know what I mean? 90 days before your benefits kick in, 90 days before your vacation days kick in. Why? Because they know that people will come, like literally coming in, showing their representative, but eventually it will show its way out or it will stay. And the same thing with relationships and meeting people. People will always show you the best of themselves, even if it's a mask, even if it's an Oscar-winning performance. But give it 90 days, give it 160, or 180. That mask will begin to peel off. And so for my friend, she chose to ignore the red flags. And so what am I saying, my friends? That it's important not to beat yourself up about the decisions you made. It's important for you to be in a place where you say, okay, this has happened to me. This was a part of my life I don't like, but that setback has set up for a comeback. Come on now. We've heard that. from other motivational speakers. The fifth point is seek support. Yes, talking to friends. Yes, talking to family. Yes, seeking professional help. But I always say, myself, as a Christian, I go to the Word. That's my support. I go to the Word. I go to prayer. I go and I meditate and I say, I need answers, or I need this time to just divulge what is happening to me, right? I need to understand why things are what they are. And so, my friends, it's important for you to be in a place where you seek support. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, my friends, because you know what? The important thing during this time is not to be alone. The important time is to be around people you trust, to rely on your spiritual foundation. If you don't have a spiritual foundation, it's important to get one. You hear me? Have one. Because what do you lean on? You're still with me, right? You're still with me. The sixth point is stay positive. Cultivate a positive mindset. Start talking to yourself. Yes, I said it. Start talking to yourself. That means when those negative thoughts come, you need to knock it out and say, no, I refuse to believe those negative thoughts. I refuse to believe that I deserve less than what I am. Come on now. It's important for you to focus on your strength and past successes, right? You have to be in a place where you say, okay, you know what? I've done this right. Then that means I can do this better. Remind yourself that this is just temporary. You have to say to yourself, okay, this crying, this feeling of disappointment, this feeling of emptiness, my friends, is just temporary. By the sound of my voice, I want you to know that your situation that you're experiencing right now is just temporary. One thing's for sure that is constantly changing is change. Come on now. Change will always happen. Things will always evolve. But you have to be patient. And that is where the self-compassion comes in. And also you seeking the decision to be positive. Number 7, take action, my friends. Begin taking small steps towards these goals, right? Look in the mirror and say to yourself, yes, I settled for less then, but today is a new day. I'm going to start talking positively to myself. I'm going to cut off that person that I was in a relationship with. Like, tell them no more. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, not follow them on social media because you don't want to know what they're doing. You don't care. You have to talk to yourself. You may care, but you're going to have to talk to yourself. And you're going to have to boost your confidence by saying, girl, you got this. So take action. If you're in a relationship that does not serve you, cut it off. Cut it off. I mean, look, I know it's going to hurt, but you're going to have to cut it off. If the person doesn't want to change, let me say this. If you're married and it's not working out, seek therapy. Seek couples therapy. Talk to your spouse. Talk to them about like what you see in the future and the fact that you can get, you guys can get over the hurdle. But if your partner is not ready, if your partner doesn't see anything wrong, they only see you as the perpetrator and they're the victim, you know what to do. Walk away. Because self-preservation is the number one key to living a victorious life. You have to understand that if you do not have your peace, and hear me when I say that, my friends, if you're involved in a relationship, if you're involved at a job that doesn't acknowledge what it is that you do, don't want to compensate you, understand You're a child of the Most High. And if the Most High owns everything that is tangible, that is tangible, that you can see, and also things that you cannot see, why should you settle for the less? Hear me when I say, why should you settle for less? So take action, because if you don't, you're going to decrease your self-esteem. You're going to lack motivation and enthusiasm for life. So seek help and take action now. Number 8, you're going to have to stay resilient, my friends. Resiliency is a key to bouncing back. You know how I spoke about, the fighter that was knocked down, right? I just used a quick analogy of life counting you out. Counting down, counting you out. Well, in order for you to go through life, you have to be in a place where you're going to embrace challenges. I know that sounds ridiculous, right? You're saying, Natasha Paris, that I have to embrace the challenges that come? Yeah, I am saying that. Why am I saying that? Is because when you embrace challenges, it actually helps you grow. Those are opportunities for you to grow into your best version of yourself. It is not going to happen when the lilies of the field are, moving to the beautiful wind and the sun. No, it's going to happen in an uncomfortable place. That's why diamonds are so valuable, because it goes through so much pressure, just everything. Because when you see a diamond, if you've ever seen a diamond, I looked it up on YouTube, right? When you've ever seen a diamond literally coming out of the ground or wherever it is dirty. It doesn't look like a diamond that you see on that girl's finger. You're like, oh, that's a 4 or 5 carat. It doesn't look beautiful. It has to go through pressure in order for it to come out beautiful. Just like a caterpillar. In order for a caterpillar to become a butterfly, it goes into a cocoon, my friends, and it stays there until it's time for it to come out, right? And so I could imagine what a cocoon might look like inside. It's dark, probably a little wet, musty, tight. And that caterpillar does not like being in there, I'm sure. But that caterpillar knows that they have to embrace this dark place at the current moment. They have to be in a place where they know that, look, I'm going to become a butterfly, and must be resilient enough to withstand the pressure. I must be resilient enough because I know that I'm going to come out as pure beauty. Number 9, practice mindfulness. You have to be in a place where you understand that there is power in meditation. There's power in prayer. There's power in journaling, because all of those things can help you stay grounded and reduce your stress. Reduce worry. Get it out on paper. Write down what you're experiencing. But at the same time, when you decide that you're going to take what you wrote in your journal and you're going to let it go through meditation by just focusing on your breath and accepting what is, but knowing that what is just temporary. So my friends, it's important for you to be in a place where you are making a conscious decision to meditate. You are practicing mindfulness, being in a place where you are staying grounded and saying, I refuse to be worried. I refuse to allow stress to dictate my life. Because my friends, it's a decision. It's a decision to want more. It's a decision to stop worrying. I know you say, Tag, that's a hard one. But you're resilient. I'm speaking and claiming that into your life. You are resilient. You can get past this. And then number 10, I want you to celebrate your small wins. Acknowledge and celebrate those achievements, no matter how small. This can help build momentum and motivation. If you are in or was in a toxic relationship, a small win could be, you know what? He calls me or she calls me and I don't pick up. Because I used to pick up immediately. Like, okay, let's hear what they have to say. Are they going to apologize? But this time you see their number come up and you do not pick it up. You let it go to voicemail. That's a win because it was so hard for you to do it before. Hear me when I say it. It is those small wins that become huge successes, a little by a little. Hear me when I say that. Or when you're thinking something negative and you immediately begin to think something positive. You're like, I don't receive this. I am going to be great. I am great. Like those are wins, my friends. Those are wins. And so what am I saying today? Is that I want you to remember that bouncing back takes time. I mean, you by default tend to do things that may not always serve you if you've been doing it for so many years, right? So you have to learn new behaviors. So that's going to take time. In addition to that, I want you to be in a place where you are not suffering in silence. Because in order for you to be victorious in this life, you have to understand that you are already victorious. And it's important for you to be around other people who are victorious, who will also motivate you, who will also speak life into you. So I want you to be committed to this journey of personal growth and recovery and empowerment. I want you to be committed to this. So let's just do a quick summary of the 10 tips on when life knocks you down. How do you become victorious? How do you become victorious when life is trying to count you out? 1, 2, 3. How do you get back up even though you're scared? How do you get back up even though you don't have enough faith to believe that things are going to get better? How do you bounce back when life says enough? You're a victim. How do you bounce back and become victorious? First, you have to acknowledge your feelings. Know that it's important not to suppress them, but acknowledge them. Number 2, reflect and learn from your mistakes. You know, for those who jump from one relationship to the next because they're afraid of being alone, but yet they're not learning and reflecting on the relationship that they were in before because they keep picking the same, people, types of people. And I've often heard that. That's my type. But your type is not winning. Come on now. Your type is not winning. You need to do something different. Number 3 is set new goals. Set new goals for your life, my friends. Decide on how you're going to live this life. Practice self-compassion. Do not beat yourself up. 5, seek support through your creator, God, Jesus. Choose that. Choose to seek support from your family, your friends, those you trust. A therapist like myself. I'm not accepting any new clients. Let me just say that. But seek support. Number 6, stay positive. You have to cultivate a positive mindset because again, change happens in your mind first before you begin to see it in the physical realm. Number 7, take action now, my friends. Begin taking small steps towards a more positive, fulfilling life, right? Number 8, stay resilient. Get back up. Don't let life count you out. Even though you're scared, you stand up. Even though you are angry, you stand up. Continue to push forward, my friends. Number 9, practice mindfulness. Be very aware of your behaviors, what you say out of your mouth. Practice meditation and journaling. And number 10, celebrate small wins, my friends. You have to celebrate your small wins. You have to begin to build your self-esteem and your confidence again. I can't stress this enough. Life will continue to life. It will sometimes knock you out. How do you become conscious again and stand up and say, I'm ready to do something different? And so, my friends, that's what we're talking about today. I hope that you took some great notes. I hope that this was of value to you, because if it was, I want you to hit that 5-star button, right? I want you to hit that 5-star button, and I want you to do what? I want you to share this, because you can't have all these golden gems for yourself, my friends. Come on now. Please share, because sharing is caring, because you never know who might benefit from it. And then, of course, I want you to write a testimony on how this has impacted you. How has it resonated with you? Because I hope that it did. I know when I speak into this mic, I know that I'm helping not just you, but I am reinforcing the things that I have learned while living this life. So with that said, I am your girl, Natasha Paris, super excited to have been your guide on this journey to fulfillment, empowerment, peace, strength, and love. And so as I close on every episode, I want you to be what? I want you to be empowered for greatness, because without greatness, there's no you, and without you, there's no greatness.